Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you are in this world. This is Hajin Lee with a morning update for Bitcoin. The primary count is progressing, I think. I don't think the sequence down towards wave one, the white one, is complete yet. Although there has been a bit of a small up. And if you look at it from a zoomed in view, okay, I think wave one, red 1, 2, 3, and this is red 4, currently in progress. I think it's finished. That means likely most of today will be spent on putting in wave 5. And that'll probably go somewhere between, let's say, 67, 63 to 66, 64. This is based on the primary count. Now, here's the funny thing, and as you may have noticed already, on this decline of the 5-wave impulse decline, it is coinciding with the altcoin's 5-wave decline. Okay, so these are a bit phasic, so to speak. They are in phase. They're declining. Is a bit in phase. And when you do your primary on your alternates, you might run into these kind of situations. And it's during these situations where you have the phase, the phasic sequences, that after it completes, it'll still look like they're still in phase. Because after one is done, you're going to get a 2 bounce. And after this wave 4 is complete, blue 4 is complete, you should get an impulse sequence going upwards in the alternate. Okay, and this, so that the decline is in phase, and then for a while the rise will be in phase, just like here. And it probably won't be until when that wave 2 occurs at around 74, 7500 or so, where the differentiation will occur, where the primary is calling for a decline, but the top alternate is calling for higher highs. But for now, the primary is showing that wave 4 is probably complete. And I think we're going to go towards the high 6,000s, 6,700 to 6,600 or so. Okay. Now bear in mind that this left shoulder, the green, had, and not the best of right shoulder, but not the best in the sense of it's not that symmetrical. But if you include this with that, looks like a right shoulder. If we take the minimum one, you take a line from the top of the head to the neckline, which connects the shoulders and the head. And you put that to the point where the breakout, or the breakdown in this case, took place, and that gives us 6,053. Now that 6,053 does not mean it has to make a beeline towards it. No. It could still be that 1, 2, 3 down will then attain the 6,053. So this is the primary count. The alternate count has a high similarity index for what it is right now at the current region. Prices already beginning to decline. You can see that. So you have wave 1, white 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, 5, just like here, should go somewhere between 6,700 to 6,650 or so. Okay, in that region. Now, by the time price gets to this region, it'll generate most likely a pretty oversold condition. By the time the fifth wave is complete, it'll generate a pretty oversold condition. What does that mean? That'll probably mean that there's going to be a sizable bounce. And that'll be accompanied by a surge in price, sub-daily surge in volume, not daily. Although daily, even if there's a surge, it probably won't exceed the trend line, just like it did before, and I'll get back to that at the end of this video. And this will be, I think, a corrective bounce on the primary point. But on the alternate, this has to become the start of a very aggressive impulse. Because if it isn't, if this is not 5-wave impulse, and it turns out to be, let's say, WXY instead, that will give us the early differentiation indication as to whether the alternate will really impulse up to higher highs. But if all we see is a 3-wave-ish, I wrote it as WXY, it could be ABC as well, and we see only a 3-wave-ish rebound instead of a 5-wave impulse, then we'll know that if it's only 3-wave-ish, I think the primary will pull it down again to test towards to the 5200 region. So these white 5 waves, 4 is done, let's brace for wave 5. And in fact, you know, as I always said, awareness keeps the panic away. We all were fully aware of this from a primary and alternate perspective. So it shouldn't be causing any panic or any significant level of distress. I find this quite interesting to be following prices like this. And if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's 5 decline coming, clearly, this WXY or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 or 5, which will it be? We shall see. But one of these will give the earliest clue as to which is more likely. I think the primary. I have stuck with the primary call even during these rises. Okay? Because I saw it more as a corrective. And I saw that the big daily WXY correction was just not complete yet. This is still the alternate count, just giving you a different view on a daily scale. This is telling you 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? And the correction is very simple looking A, B, C. And the 0.618 will be at around the 68.19. It didn't quite get there yet. The next one probably will be the 0.786, the 63.64. So I think it'll come somewhere probably between. It'll overshoot, maybe come back. And that goes to this region of 67.59 to 65.97. if it overshoots. It'll be probably somewhere in this region. So let me share with you what kind of compelled me, and I made this very clear pretty much during the past videos, in that what really compelled me to kind of stick to my gun on my primary account. The reason is I didn't see the volume. There were several posts where I said, where's the volume? We got one little meager spike. Everything stayed underneath. Even during the uprise, it was just and came right back down. Okay, I said there might be a little bit of hope here, but let's see how it goes. But nope. And if my call for the WXY still stands, then that is why I said, okay, the volume here is going to go to trickle to almost nothing. Even into this decline, the volume will be trickling underneath the trend line of the volume. Okay? So the volume trend line is very important for any breakouts, especially at a daily scale for a significant correction of this type. Now, the primary calls for the volume to continue trickling underneath and decline with the declining trend line to the 5200. Okay? And then price will surge. And then volume will surge. Okay? That's the primary. Now, the alternate is saying this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're just having the requisite necessary correction from that impulse sequence. Okay? And if that's the case, if this is just a correction, then price should scream up from there. That's why I was saying we need to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 3 waves ABC. Oops. Price should scream up from there. And if volume also from here starts screaming up, if volume starts screaming up consistently, decisively above the volume trend line, I'd be a bull. I'm always a bull, but I'll be a bull on the top alternate account. But I won't change my primary until that that price of 8,600 is passed. Until, in other words, we make a higher high here. But if we keep seeing let's say on the breakout, we see a massive volume like this. And then it stays above the trend line. And let's say the crescendos increases. Might have a day of a small volume, okay, but still above the trend line. This is what I'm looking for in the volume, and so should you. And it is potential. That's why I have it as a top alternate. For this to occur after the ABC is finished, yes. I will never deny that. In fact, that is why I have my top alternate. Then my Y will move to here. But until then, And so far, I haven't seen the volume action. Until I see that volume action, not just the price action, but the volume action, my primary account still calls for the 5200 to be tested. And that'll probably be into the September. All right, I hope this was not confusing. It shouldn't be at all. I think I have been deadly consistent in my analysis for the primary and the alternate. All right, have a happy Sunday. I will be very busy today with family. So I will do my best to put in a few alerts, but also, of course, respond back to the comments, which I look forward to. Have a great day.